Hello and welcome to the Daily Brown Bag. Today we're going to be talking about social signals and whether they impact rankings. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer.
Yeah, good morning, Chad. Welcome to the Brown Bag. People have been talking about social signals for years. Sometimes the debate, Chad's been sort of hot and heavy, and some people are claiming it's absolutely in the Google algorithm. Other people are saying social signals are being looked at. I know Moz, talked about this a few years ago, and he was thinking maybe it was in the pipeline, but weren't totally sure. And then some people said they had some conclusive proof. But then there was a backlash saying, correlation is not causation. So here we have Matt Cutts. This is the news today, Chad. The question was asked, are Facebook and Twitter signals part of the ranking algorithm? How much do they matter? And he said basically no, which is very surprising and is a bit of news for those tracking this debate over the last several years. Those are treated like any other pages in the index. Matt Cutts said, quote, to the best of my knowledge, we don't currently have any signals like that in our web search ranking algorithms. So he's saying that essentially a number of people liking a page, a number of followers in Twitter are not specifically in the Google algorithm, and then they're not considered as ranking factors. I think the reason they've gotten here is because a lot of those things are manipulable. But Cutts is not saying that they're not useful, and he's not saying don't tweet or use Facebook. He's saying it's very, very valuable as a way to drive visitors to your site, to share news, to boost your personal brand. And I think, Chad, we would probably agree if you hear this and it means you're going to stop pursuing social media, it means you probably don't have the right orientation towards SEO in 2014, and you're certainly not on the content marketing bandwagon. So let's discuss that a little bit and how social is very, very important to SEO indirectly, even though Matt Cutts maybe here is definitely here saying it's not in the algorithm specifically.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is an interesting one for them to come for Matt Cutts to come out and talk about, because it's sort of like, why be so definitive about it, and let's dissect it. I mean, one of the things that certainly, as you already mentioned, Adam, is this idea of correlation versus causation, and really what they're talking about is that great content on the web is correlated with people who probably are both liking it and tweeting it and talking about it on social media. It happens to correlate with also places that people are linking to it from blog posts, which means it has good rankings. So the fact that they're correlated doesn't mean that the social signals are what are actually leading to the rankings. Now, does that mean you should stop doing social media? And it's absolutely not. I mean, social media is really important for things like building brand awareness, connecting with your customers and your audience, sharing knowledge, sharing news and educating people, and really just being part of the community. So when you are creating great content, there's clearly a reason to use social media to help prime the pump and get people to become aware of it. And as a result of that, there maybe is some secondary benefit, because as people become aware of it through social media, they may be more likely to reference it in a blog post or another place where they might be talking about something, and you get a link which can help you with the ranking. So it's sort of that two-step process that gets complicated for a lot of business owners, because they're usually thinking about, what can I do to evaluate the effectiveness of social media directly, and when you start to think about these two-step things, it does get a little tricky. So those are the reasons that we think that there's today not a direct relationship between social signals and rankings, but certainly it's something you don't want to throw out.
Right. There's sort of the purist discussion of, is this a signal in the algorithm, which is a very scientific discussion, and then there's the practical discussion of, will using social help my rankings? And it may sound contradictory to say these social signals are not in the ranking algo, but yes, using social will absolutely help your rankings, and I think it's for the reasons you just articulated, Chad. And this is all very interesting, because you also hear people on the social media side, and I called this out in my Search Engine Watch piece that just went up yesterday, they have a hard time showing return on investment directly for social media campaigns. Yet, we know that there's a sort of assist factor that comes into SEO here. So it once again shows that the integrated marketing strategy is really where you're going to get your bang for your buck. Focusing on quality and focusing on things people want to share will help you push your social agenda and also help your SEO agenda, even though technically these social factors, as Matt Cutts confirmed, are not in the algo. So I think that should hopefully clarify things in our brown bag today. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Drop us a comment or a reply, and we hope to see you back at our brown bag tomorrow.